Hello and welcome into another installment of the 60 Feet 6 Inches podcast. I'm your host, Chris DeMuy, former LSU pitcher. I was over there from 95 to 98. And I just want to take a second to thank everybody from tuning in. If you're just now finding us on YouTube or via Twitter, I ask that you hit the like or the subscribe button, as my plan is to preview SEC series, then do a wrap-up after the series is over, and then possibly do a midweek game review as well, just depending on the opponent and the time with regards to content. So I want to be as consistent as possible. So I welcome all comments. Hit me up on Twitter, hit us up on YouTube right there for 60 feet 6 inches pod. In terms of Twitter, right now you can find me at my personal Twitter account, which is at CDemuy. That is CDEMOUY. I will get the 60 feet 6 inches pod Twitter account up and rolling as well this weekend. So you'll find a link to that. I'll send it out on my personal account, then send a link on the YouTube page as well underneath the description. But real quick, I just wanted to send out I do a quick Auburn preview since the games are happening tonight. So tonight is Thursday. LSU plays Auburn at 6 o'clock, and Friday the game is at 6:30, and then Saturday they conclude the series at 1 o'clock. So I wanted to get out a quick preview, looking at some head-to-head Auburn and LSU team statistics to see how the teams compare, then highlighting some Auburn pitching that you need to watch out for, and then specifically some of the hitters as well. And then another fun segment I will do at the end, I will do my predictions for the weekend, and then a segment called Get Right or Stay Right, where I'll highlight pitchers or hitters from LSU who I think need to get right this weekend for them to be successful. And then on the flip side, those guys that are hot right now, I'm sure for those that have been following LSU baseball, everybody can think of that one hitter right now who needs to stay right. So with that, let's just get going. In terms of the team by team comparison, I was really hoping for a sweep this weekend, and I still am. But I didn't think Auburn was necessarily anything special, but doing a kind of a deep dive into some of their stats, Auburn's going to come into this series at 17-8 on the year. They are 3-3 in the SEC, just as LSU is. They dropped a home series to Ole Miss, 2-1, but then they went on the road and took a road series from the Aggies of Texas A&M, 2-1 this past weekend. They did drop their midweek contest to Jacksonville State on Tuesday night, so they are coming in off a loss, whereas we know LSU pounded ULM on Tuesday 15-4. So LSU comes into the series 3-3 in the SEC and 18-7 on the year, and ranked in the top 25 in various polls, while Auburn is not ranked. Some interesting series notes: LSU has won the last 4 home series against Auburn, so they've really dominated them at Alex Box Stadium. Auburn has not won a series at LSU since 2011, I believe. But one thing to note is that Auburn has been very good on the road this year. They are 6-2 away from Plainsman Park, and they have won their last 3 SEC series on the road as well. So they've been very good away from home. They opened up the year against some tough opponents at Globe Life Park in Arlington. They played Oklahoma, who LSU faced as well. They did beat Texas Tech, who is a very good team, and they beat Kansas State as well. So they played some tough competition and kind of had some ups and downs with some other series as well. So in terms of the team stats, it was a little surprising to me that how evenly the teams were matched in terms of batting average. Now this is all games, and this is the conference ranks. I don't think you can put too much stock into conference games only right now, since each team's only on their 3rd series. I think maybe when you get to the 5th series, then you can really look at conference-only stats. But right now, this is just all games in terms of their team statistics. So Auburn is 3rd in the conference in batting at .311. This is team batting. And then LSU is 5th in the conference in team batting at .301. So very close there. In terms of team ERA, LSU's 4th in the conference, Auburn's 5th. LSU at 3.46 for a team ERA, and Auburn has a 3.80 team ERA. In terms of runs scored, LSU is 2nd in the conference, Auburn is 3rd. Hits and RBIs, in terms of conference ranks, LSU and Auburn are neck and neck at that as well. So they really stack up very well in terms of batting average and overall hitting statistics. But one area that LSU does outpace Auburn is LSU is 4th in the conference in home runs at 39, while Auburn is 9th in the conference at 26. Auburn does strike out more, their hitters do. Auburn does steal more. LSU is second to last in the conference in terms of steal attempts. That is something I would like to see Coach Jay Johnson do a little more, is get the running game going. But I can understand if you want to say, well, Chris, if we get the running game going and we can take the bats out of our guys' hands and we're going to run ourselves out of innings, and with how potent the LSU lineup is right now, I'm sure he'll just stick to that game plan and just kind of go station to station, or just wait for guys to hit bombs or balls in the gaps. But LSU does not run really at all. This will be interesting for LSU fans. Auburn does lead the conference in wild pitches. So something to watch when guys getting scoring position, or especially late in the game, maybe they can throw us a gift with regards to their pitchers. So as you can see, very evenly matched teams in terms of statistics. In terms of specific Auburn players, I think there are three key people that you really need to keep an eye on this weekend as well. So hopefully at a tailgate or at the water cooler tomorrow, you can say, you know what, that 60 feet 6 inches podcast just gave me the scoop, and I'm telling you, you need to watch out for these three guys right now. So when looking at the team sheet, I would imagine Coach Jay Johnson and pitching coach Jason Kelly, these are the three main guys I would highlight and have some serious discussions with regards to the pitching. The first one is Sonny DiChiara, or DiChiara, but we're going to say DiChiara, Dichiara, who is a transfer from Samford, Samford, the school in Birmingham, which is actually the same school that LSU catcher Tyler McManus came from. So hopefully Tyler is giving an advanced scouting report on DiChiara to the LSU coaching staff. But he is really kind of what makes this Auburn offense go. So he's a big guy. I would assume he's their first baseman. He's 6'1", 263. He actually leads Auburn in home runs at 7 this year. But more interesting, he is 4th in the country this year in batting average. So he's hitting .455 on the year. He leads the country in on-base percentage at .608. Also, for being such a big power hitter, he doesn't strike out. He has 23 walks on the season and only 10 strikeouts. So 1, he has a very good eye on the plate. 2, he can put the ball out of the park. But 3, he's getting on base at an astounding clip. I mean, he's leading the country, obviously. And I would assume he's going to hit in that 3 to 4 range. So he is somebody you have to watch out for, obviously. We know LSU, Alec Box Stadium, can be a bandbox at times and the ball can fly out. I have no idea what the wind's going to do this weekend, but as I said in the last 60 feet 6 inches pod, that solo home runs don't kill you, but if you have 1 or 2 guys on base and DiChiara comes up, that's going to be a very interesting matchup for those pitchers on the mound. The other guy that fans should be leery of is Blake Rambush. So Blake has a 15-game hitting streak going on currently. I believe he is their leadoff hitter. He's hitting at a .394 clip, and he's tied for the lead on the team in stolen bases. So he is 5 for 9 in the stolen base category. So he is a JUCO transfer. And doing a little bit more digging, he had 33 stolen bases in JUCO last year. So he is somebody that looks to get on base. He's on base pretty frequently if he has a 15-game hitting streak. He hits for a high average, almost 400, and then when he gets on, he's going to look to run and really set the table for DiChiara, their big power hitter. And the next guy, it is my opinion that these guys probably hit 1, 2, 3 in the lineup with Rambush leading off. Then you have Cason Howe, who's their center fielder. So automatically, you know, he's going to be athletic and he can run. So Cason Howe is tied for the team lead in doubles. He has 10. He also hits, his batting average is .337. And then he is tied with Rambush for stolen bases. He's 5 for 6 on the year. So between those three guys, with Rambush, Cason Howe, and then the big power hitter in Sonny DiChiara, those three guys are going to make Auburn go. And I think those three guys are the key to the weekend. We always talk in pitching meetings about getting the leadoff guy every inning, and I think that's going to be key for LSU's hitters, especially when you have somebody like Rambush with a 15-game hitting streak and they like to get on and run. And Milazzo's not healthy, so he's not going to be behind the plate. And it'll be interesting to see who Coach Jay Johnson starts behind the plate this weekend. But you cannot let those three guys, maybe specifically just DiChiara, you cannot let him beat you this weekend. He can't be the sole source of their runs and their RBIs this weekend. Make somebody else down in the order beat you. And that leads into another point too, is that the starters this weekend are the relievers. When you have a chance to get guys in the bottom of that order out with 2 outs, you got to put them away. When you have 2 outs and you have 7, 8, 9 hole up, you can't walk a guy, then give up a single, then all of a sudden you're looking at the top of the order again. The really heart of Auburn's offensive production. You just got to make sure that lineup doesn't roll over and just end any threat right there and do the job and really buckle down with 2 outs in the bottom of the order. So, in terms of my keys for the weekend, I wanted to go back real quick, highlight 2 known Auburn starters that we have. So on tonight, Thursday night, they're going to start junior left-handed pitcher Hayden Mullins. So he has 3 games started. He is 2-1. He has a 3.52 ERA. Looks like he started all 3. Started in the SEC every chance that he's gotten. 15 innings pitched. Not a crazy strike to walk ratio, but and he's only has a batting average against of 212. So it looks like obviously he's left-handed. You know, it's going to be tough to run on him, and he does a good job of keeping the hits below the innings pitched. But I think the real highlight is going to be their Friday night starter. It is junior right-handed pitcher Trace Bright. So he is really the statistical leader for the pitching staff. He has a 2.23 ERA, 32 1/3 innings pitched. He has 34 strikeouts and only 12 walks. So anytime you see somebody with more strikeouts than innings pitched, that's a good sign. He's a good pitcher. He probably throws pretty hard and has a breaking ball. That's a strikeout pitch as well. But even more impressive, he only has a 197 batting average against. So those are the 2 starters that we know of. I think Bright is probably the established ace on that staff, and he'll be going Friday night against Mikhail Hilliard. So I apologize, Mikhail, for that. So you've been around long enough, I should know how to pronounce your name, so that's on me. But he'll be going up against Hilliard on Friday night. And then the other guy to watch out for, they do have a bona fide closer. I know it seemed like it's been a little bit of a revolving door at LSU this year on the back end of the games, and you would imagine Fontenot is probably the established closer for the LSU bullpen. But Auburn does have a guy on the back end of that staff, and his name is Blake Burkhalter. So he has 11 appearances on the year, 17 innings pitched, so he can go more than 1 inning. He has 4 saves already. So the interesting thing about him, in 17 innings pitched, he has 24 strikeouts and only 1 walk. So when you look at somebody that's going to come in the 8th or 9th and look to close it out, the bad thing for LSU's hitters is that he doesn't walk anybody. So he pretty much comes right at you, and he's got strikeout stuff with 17 innings pitched and 24 Ks. And his batting average against is only 175. So he's been pretty locked down actually the halfway point of the year. So that's something to note for the fans, that when Burkhalter comes in and they have a lead, it's been tough to score against him. So we'll see if those LSU hitters can muster something up late in the game if we do find ourselves behind, looking to rally right there. So that's really it in terms of the Auburn preview and the players to watch on their staff. I think for LSU, it's going to be interesting to see, I guess, a couple of things. One, can the hitters stay consistent? They've been rolling lately, coming off that big series win in Florida where they were, playing wall ball and hitting doubles and hitting throughout the lineup. And they did the same thing against ULM. So can they stay consistent? And will you see, those guys really take advantage and hit with power and get on base? And it seems like they're starting to gel at the right time coming into conference play. The other thing I want to see tonight is, can Blake Money turn it around a little bit? Get back to his early consistent form of the year where he's going deep into the game. I would love to see Money be able to give LSU 7 strong tonight. And then you can close it out with Fontenot, who should be ready to go. You have Gervais, who's be ready to go as well. But I think the tough one, if I had to guess, I think Friday night's going to be the tough game with Hilliard going against what I believe the ace of the Auburn staff is Bright. So I think Hilliard is a 2 times through the order guy, and you can turn it over. I think you'll really see that'll be a spot for Gervais to come in and pitch multiple innings, and then Riley Cooper will be available, and I think Eric Raiselman will be available coming off their midweek appearances as well. So I think Friday night's going to be the tough one. And then can those freshman pitchers, Dutton and Taylor, reproduce what they were able to do at Florida? Can they stay consistent? It's great that they had success here, but can they come home and do it again to where Jay Johnson starts having more and more confidence in that combination of guys on Sunday? So the get right, stay right segment. So for me, I think the stay right has got to be Joe Bear. I mean, why would I pick against that guy? He is on absolute fire right now with 5 home runs in his last 3 games. So I'd love to see Joe Bear stay right. From the pitching side of things, I want to see the bullpen just in general stay right. Specifically, Gervais, Fontenot, and then Cooper to build off that midweek outing. And then Taylor threw 5 1/3 on Sunday. So I'd like to see him stay right this Sunday as well. And then get right, I have Blake Money. I think it's not a big start for him, but probably from a confidence standpoint, I think he wants to get off on a good foot this Thursday night and set the tone for the weekend. So I want to see Blake Money get right. And then hitting-wise, I would love to see Gio get right. I have a feeling he's going to click. He's going to have a big weekend. He's been in a little bit of a slump. So that'd be nice to see the LSU right fielder get right. My prediction is a series win for the Tigers. I'm going 2-1 with a tough game on Friday, and I think the Tigers pulling out on Saturday. Man, I'm not used to these Thursday, Friday, Saturday series, so it's odd to me. So LSU series win. Be back on Saturday or Sunday whenever I release that next 60 feet 6 inches podcast for a wrap up of the LSU Auburn series, which hopefully be a Tigers series victory. And the goal is always to go 2 for 3 every weekend. That's what we're looking at for, especially at home. And as the smart people always said, you can't sweep unless you win on Friday. Well, Thursday in this case. So I did it again. Man, it's been a rough one. So I will hit y'all up with the link out on Twitter, and then publish this on the page, and look forward to keeping this thing going. So thank you everybody for your comments and for those views, and we will touch base on Sunday. Thank y'all.